So today's going to be a double issue, 17 and 18, and we are going to be looking at a power supply, and we are going to be testing out the Magic Scale Models kit. So today is issue 17, and we're doing the rear floor section and details, lots of parts and screws. And there you can see completed issue 17, and it's certainly grown a little bit. So on to issue 18, and we are going to be doing the tailplane support for the rear of the model, just a couple of pieces and some screws. And there we go, there's the completed work, and now you can see it's becoming quite a monster. So couple of basic little issues there, but they certainly are doing their job. So let's go over and see what I'm up to. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at my adapter that I've bought. We're going to test it, and then we'll use that to test the Magic Scale modelling electronics. So what I want to show you first, I would like to bring up the actual screen, but this particular computer, I'm having problems at the moment connecting to the internet, so I'm going to have to show you on my phone. So I purchased this particular power pack. Now this is on Amazon. It comes from Basic House Store. It's got a very long title, as you know from these Chinesey ones. It's called Universal AC to DC Power Adapter, Multi-Output Voltages, 3 volt, 4.5, blah, 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 switching power supply with 8 selectable adapter plugs for routers, speakers, household electronics. And that is what it looks like. Now, there are cheaper ones available, but this has got a couple of little features that I'm after. Namely, it's got the adjustable bit there, and it's got that plug there. Now, I paid £9.99, however, it has since gone up to £11.11. Although you can save 5% if you buy extra things. Now it says free delivery Wednesday 23rd of October. I'm actually this is actually night time on the 21st, so it's almost next day delivery. It's got some good reviews. Let me scroll up to the reviews. Do you know what? Mobile phone format 4.4 out of 5. Now I like to look at the 1-star ratings because they're funny. So we've got doesn't work, feels like it's got a loose connection, radio doesn't work until I twiddle the wire, really bad, don't waste your money, and faulty. One was in May, one was in March. Never powered anything that I had to try. Waste of money. So then let's have a look at the 3-star reviews. Not good enough, not enough different sizes. There was one round plug needed which was not in pack, so why did you buy it? Okay, I find those ones daft, you know. You've got the various adapters, and then you go and buy it, and then you complain it hasn't got one that you need. 4-star. Does exactly what I want, and I use it to power a light strip for filming and performing at DJ gigs. So that looks, you know, I always look at the negative reviews. Sometimes they're just funny. So this is the universal adapter, and it's nothing major to look at, but it comes, so you have the, obviously we have 3-pin plugs in the UK. Reasonable enough length cable. I did read the length, but obviously you can use this with what's this, about 1 meter. That should be long enough, shouldn't it? And you can always use it with an extension cable. So the way this works is you have these various adapters. You've actually got the old mobile, I call that the old mobile phone. It doesn't fit any mobile phones I've got now, and all you do is you select the appropriate cable, and that's actually quite firm on there. But the one I'm after is this one, and the reason for it is you connect 2 wires up to it. So what I plan to do when I build the base for the Lancaster, I'm going to drill a hole in the side and this bit is going to be poking out the side, and then I'll power the whole thing up by plugging that. So that will actually be my plug, not this. Whereas if you have like this one, for example, you'd have to put the thing and then you plug that in, but this is actually going to be my plug. So, and the way this one works is you just put the bare wire in and you screw it in. So that's basically it. You also get this funny little key, and that is for adjusting the power supply. So what we are going to do now, I'm going to put a couple of Arduino cables in the end here, and I'm going to get my multimeter out, and we are going to test the voltages. Little side note, the Magic Scale modelling one comes with a power pack. I believe it's, I can't remember if it comes with it. Yeah, it should come with it. Now it does say, now I like to use rechargeable batteries. As you can see, that's my preferred choice, because otherwise I just spend so much money on batteries. But as it's pointed out on the Magic Scale modelling site, I don't have a non-rechargeable battery, I'm afraid. But look at the dial, this should be 1.5. All batteries are 1.5. You see that when I test it, it's actually 1.253. So it's not giving out the 1.5 volts. That means that when you put 4 batteries in, let's see if my maths is right, that's going to give us 4.9 volts when we want 6. A non-rechargeable battery shouldn't be giving out exactly 1.5, but close enough. But it's going to be giving out more than the rechargeable battery. This is going to give us hopefully exactly what we ask it to. So let me take a cut because I can't find my screwdriver. Okay, so what I've done is on this plug, which I intend to use, I've just put in one cable. You'll see on there it's got plus and minus. So all I'm going to do, I've loosened the connection, I'm just going to plug that in, and then I'm just going to screw it down. And this is just for testing purposes. So let's switch this down to 3 volts. Always check it on the lowest voltage first, guys. So you can't see this, but there's a little green light come on. So we will plug that in and get our multimeter. I wish I had the little crocodile clips, but unfortunately I don't. So that should read something like 3 volts, and that's reading 3.1. Oh, that's interesting. So we know it works. I'm just going to test it on 3 settings, guys. I'm going to test it on 12 next, which is its maximum output. Obviously make sure these 2 connections don't touch, otherwise we'll get a big old short circuit. So this should be reading something in the region of 12, and it's reading 12.35. Okay, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm ever so slightly worried now, because if it's reading more than it should. Right, so I'm going to set it for 6, because that's the setting that I want. I'm really intrigued on how that works. I know a little bit about electronics, but I'm just, a little switch like that. Right, so that should read 6. That's reading 6.17. I don't think 0.17 volts, I don't think that'll make a major difference. Right, so incidentally, this has also got a USB on the bottom, so you could perhaps use this for powering your Arduinos. It has actually got 5 volts on it, so it can be used to power an Arduino. Right, so that is absolutely perfect. I'm going to keep these on. No, I need to remove one. I know that the connections on the Magic Scale modelling, you have one male and one female plug. This is to stop you from plugging things in the wrong way. So I'll see you in a moment we are going to get the magic scale modelling kit out. Right, you're going to have to use your imagination just a little bit here. This tray and this piece of wood is going to represent the Lancaster. This is the wing, this is the front, this is the rear. We're going to ignore this bit here for the moment. So imagine it comes out like this. So in the instructions, now I've chosen to not pay the extra for the manual. If you don't, you get the manual in PDF format, and what we're concerned with here is this complicated looking but not really chart. And what this does is it tells you what the components are and where to plug them. Now do not panic, because you'll see that this is the right engine number 4 and it connects to any number 9. So the first thing we need to do is we need the circuit board, which is this one. Now this is going to go into the bomb bay. It basically needs to go anywhere where it's hidden. Now I don't know exactly where we're going to put this for now. So as you can see, it has a male and a female plug. Now we also get a power supply, and that power supply has a male and a female. Okay, I don't really know where to start on this, guys. I'll be absolutely honest with you. So this is the circuit board. So I can now see that one of these can plug straight into that. So the black one can plug straight in. And I'm going to have to be a little bit careful because I don't want to nip it too much. Now what I'll do on the actual finished one, I will actually be cutting various cables so that I end up with a piece of bare wire. There we go. So that black is connected directly, and the red one, we can connect that straight in. Lovely. Right, so as a test, first test, we will plug that in and we should see a light comes on to tell us it's working. Echo, hobby desk lights off. So plug that in and there we go. We've got the light to tell us it's on. So we know that's working so far. We know my connections are good. Echo, hobby desk light on. Right, so that's the circuit board in place. So obviously we'd have this. Now what we've also got, which I'm not really sure how to test at the moment, I'm even not sure how to install them yet either, if I can find them. Right, so here we have the power cables. Excuse me. So these power cables, instead of plugging the circuit board directly into these, you should have two cables. You have these, which these plug, you either plug these ones directly into the battery box, and these pins directly into the circuit board, or the other way round. That I'm not sure about. So you have these pins and you bury, I think you're supposed to embed these into the wheel of the Lancaster, so it's just a tiny bit poking out, and then what you do is you place these into your base exactly the wheels apart, and then when you place the Lancaster down, you're going to get the gist. I'm going to do this wrong, but you get the gist of it. So these are placed on the diorama, and then as you place the Lancaster down, it makes contact, and then the battery goes all the way through to the circuit board. I'm not going to test those today, but I bought them because I do intend to use them. So let's pop those back. I'm being very meticulous about these bags because the wires and everything, you know, what happens if I get the wrong wire? Probably nothing, to be honest with you. So I need a small box. Let's get a tray. Is there anything on that tray? Yes, I knew there would be. Right, I want somewhere to put these. Okay, we're just going to pop them on there then. Right, so the first thing I want to pop in, the first thing I want to pop in are the speakers. Now, once we get these speakers in, we will be able to test the sound at least. So, you have 2 speakers, and according to this, whoops, did not mean to do that. Right, so according to this, you plug this, you have 2 ports there, speaker, okay, and it should, so the way it's going to work is you will get the sound of both engines out of one speaker and the sounds of both engines out of the other. It's a little bit clever, and it is stereo. Now I'm hoping, just want to make sure I get this wrong. Well, I don't like plugging this in too much, to be honest with you, because each time you unplug this you run the risk of damaging the wires. Okay, so let's do a quick sound check. So what will happen when you plug it in, you will get a little startup sound, which I'm going to then make a cut because I just want to go back onto, I want to just check the footage and make sure it's picking up the sound. So when we now plug this in here, right, so we will get a startup sound, and I'll leave it running until one of the engines start. Right, I'm going to disconnect that because, right, so you'll get the startup sound in one of the engines. Are we getting the engine? There we go. And then this one has got nothing. So that is definitely coming out of one speaker. It's coming out of this speaker. Now, I did write this down so I don't get it wrong. I believe the engines are 1, 2, 3, 4, and the startup sequence is 3, 4, 2, 1. So that is correct. So let me take a cut to just make sure this is picking up the sound on my mic. So it turns out that it picked that up absolutely fantastically. I don't need to lean close. Right, so now comes the fun bit. We need to plug in the rest of the various bits and bobs. I think we'll do the engines first, because I think that's the bit we're all waiting for. Now, it says on here engine number 4, and then you'll have, let me find them all. Engine number 3, engine number 2, and I can't find engine number 1. Where's that gone then? Let me check them again. Engine number 1. So it says engine number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. It doesn't really matter which way round you plug these because they're all the same. But obviously we need to connect them into the correct, it says there, look, connect to any 6, any 9, any 3. So let's start with engine number 1. There's 2 reasons. No, actually I want to start with engine number 2. I want to do the internal engine. In fact, what we'll do is we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll start with number 2. Now one of these engines has already got some masking tape on because I have done a test on it, and one of them has got the 3D printed sleeve on it, which we need for connecting it to the engine. So just kind of ignore all of that. So we have 3 wires. One is connected to the motor, which will have a sleeve on it when we're finished. That then connects to this, it's got a JST and 2 plugs on it, and then that connects into these. Oh, there's actually extra wires, so right, and I thought it came with an extra pin as well. Maybe it doesn't. It does, so maybe I've lost that pin. Okay, it's not a problem. So what we need to do, well, first of all, what I want to do is I want to get a little bit of masking tape and pop it on the end of the motor. Otherwise you won't see the motor spinning, because the actual motor is just a little tiny arm. So all we do is we just get a piece of masking tape like that, and then we'll get another piece of masking tape and we'll just tape that down onto the piece of wood so that it doesn't run away. So that's engine number 2. So that will connect to this, and that's why we've got the pin to reverse one of these polarities. So that could be a bit, oh, that's not going to be a problem. We're going to bodge it. Right, so we need to plug the positive, engine number 2. I lost the bag. Right, this needs to go into number 5. So the positive, you'll see you've got a bank of plugs there and there, and it's hard to, I can't show you on camera, guys, but number 5 is there. You can clearly see it on the circuit board, but because I've now got this so far, it's all kind of, well, actually I can lift it up. So you'll see on the circuit board next to the pins there's numbers, and there is actually a 3D printed cover on it, but you can just make out the same numbers on the opposite side. So I'm trying to keep this organized, otherwise, you know me, I'll get all muddled up. So what I'm going to do in this case, I will, do you know what, it looks like I can't plug this in because I can't find that little pin. I can't believe, oh, here it is. Right, so what we need to do is take this pin that comes with it, and what we'll do is we'll plug that into the negative port, which then magically transforms that from a female plug to a male. So you will end up with 1 male, 1 female. And that's not in, that is in. Right, so to keep things a little bit simple, it doesn't matter, these are all negatives, but I'm actually going to pop it into the corresponding plug. So it's plugged into there, because if you follow that as 0135, 0135. Okay, so that is that engine in. So let's look for engine 3. Now, are you happy for me? I mean, by the time you see this, I've already made the edit, but let's put the spare wires back into the correct bag. Like so. Okay, and then engine number 3, so we're going to do exactly the same, except that it's going in a slightly different port. So a bit of masking tape, pop that on the end, and then another piece of masking tape to tape this down. Like I say, you need a little bit of imagination here, guys, because this tray and a piece of wood isn't quite a accurate representation. Right, so this is a compulsory wire because it's got that JST on the end, and it's going in that way. So obviously one of the challenges we've got here is where to hide the wires. So now engine number 3, that connects to any number 6. So number 6 is right next door. So that goes into there, and you can test this at every stage if you want. So there should be a little pin in there. Little pin, where are you? I just saw him. There he is. So we'll pop the little pin into there to turn that into a male port, and plug it wherever you like, but I'm going to plug it next door so it's in the corresponding pin, and we continue like so. And you see already I'm starting to get a little bit out of control with my wires. Right guys, I'm going to take a cut, and when I come back you're going to see 2 more engines. Okay, so I'm hoping you can see this okay. Let's see if that's probably about the best I can do with a zoom. So I have installed the 4 engines. We have engine number 4. Oh, sorry guys, I didn't realise it was going to start again. So engine number 4 plugged into plug number 9, engine number 3 plugged into plug number 6, number 2 goes into 5, and 1 goes into 3. So there's a bank of 4 of them all together, and they're all one by one. Now I'm going to test this because when I put the lights on, in, I want to turn my desk lights out so you can see it. But obviously, excuse me, if I turn the lights out, you won't see the engines moving. So, are you ready for this? So you should get, and I'll make a confession, I have tested this already. You should get a little test sound to say that everything's working. Then you'll get engine 3, then 4, then 2, then 1. I've tried to put some marks on them so you know what order. That one, that one, that one, and that one. So here we go. So everything's working fine. Now, I know you can hear the noises because I've already checked this clip. Now, I'm actually wearing headphones and I can't hear it so well. When I take the headphones off, it is actually quite loud, really is quite loud. So I'm just going to disconnect it. Now, one thing you didn't spot, and that's because the propellers aren't on there. They actually start slowly, and one of them actually kind of looks like it's going to give up and then goes. I think one of them you did notice a slow start, but there's no resistance on them. There's only a piece of masking tape. So, and that one's actually been spinning so well, it's actually removed a piece of masking tape. So we'll just put another piece on there. So I'm happy with that. So shall we get some lights on? That's actually got quite a big piece of masking tape on now, but that's what you get. Right, so 4 engines are installed. So we have got tail navigation lights, and they connect to, there's two of those, and they connect to any one. So tail navigation lights, remind me how they go. They're plain light. Do we do one on each side? I might have to look that up. There are instructions on them, and it tells you how to actually build it. They've got a blog on their website. Please note the position of the tail navigation light on the Lancaster on display at the RAF Museum at Hendon. To our understanding, a white and a blue one are installed. Only one was operated at the time, if any. Please install the one which best suits your project. For info, Tamiya Clear Blue is X23 or equivalent. Right, so I've got to research that. So what we will do then, we will install them both to make sure they work fine. So if there's 2 nano lights, there should then therefore, oh no, that's all there is two lights. So we will, let's put them there and there, shall we? No, I'm going to put them there and there because I believe there's a rear gunner light. Now these are all supplied blue. Sorry, these are all supplied white. So today you're going to see them all as white lights. But on the final model, you need to paint them an appropriate colour. And it says that the way you paint them is you dip them into Tamiya Clear, and it's that simple. Right, so you've got 2 lights, but you've got 1 plug there. So what we'll do is we'll plug that one in to that one, and you've got another number 1 on the other side. Okay, so I'll tape this down to there so you'll be able to see the light. This is just going to be a rough representation, and I'm probably going to be spending hours afterwards undoing all of this and making sure it all goes into the right boxes. But do you know what? I think it's going to be worth it. So second light goes there. So this is going to plug into the number 1 on the opposite side. So really I should unravel more of this wire. I've plugged the negative in first for a change. So number 1, yeah, and it is actually opposite. It doesn't go 0135, 0135. It goes 0135, and then on the other side it works downwards. Right, so that's the tail navigation lights, which I'm going to have to research that for that specific aircraft. That's my 3D printed parts. This is the cabin lights, cockpit, dorsal gunner, radio, nav. So they're all going to go there. And I'll put the dorsal gunner there, just because obviously if this was a little bit more accurate, rather than just being a tray and a piece of wood, it'll be fine. Now I'm just going to use the lights. There's only 2 lights in there. No, there's 3 lights. Oh, hang on. There's 2 lights. Three nano leads, and there's only 2. Okay. Right, okay. So, shall we miss out the dorsal gunner then? I think if you're looking at a scale model, and I mean I'll drop them a message. I may not get any replacement parts though, because the deal is you get 6-month replacement, and I think we are if we're not over the 6 months since I bought this, we are very close. So if he says no, too late, then I mean, I'll email him tomorrow, but if he does say no, tough luck, then I'm going to have to live with it. I'm hoping that he takes pity on me, and oh, I need that bag, don't I? So these, well, there can't be 3 lights, because how are you going to plug 3 lights into 2 ports? I don't know. Right, so one is going in the cockpit. So these connect to number 11. I'm just doing these as they come out, by the way, guys. Obviously, once I put these into the Lancaster, I'll really organise these wires a lot better. Right, so number 11 is right on the end. So that one's in place. Oops. That's a really thin wire in quite a thick connector, but they seem to be quite tough. So if he's crimped them in, he's crimped them very well, or perhaps he's soldered them in as well. Right, so what do we say this one is? This is going to be the cockpit. So as it's the cockpit, we'll put that there. Okay, and the second one is going to be the radio and nav, so we'll put that there. That sound fair? Sorry guys, I know this is going to end up really lengthy. Oh, it is not 3 lights. I thought we had 3 lights there, but it turns out I had my hand on the connector. Right, let's put that down. Right, in fact I want to plug this in first. So this is going to have to plug in on the opposite side, because like I say, there's only 2 plugs. And now I've got to locate the end. Right, there we are. Radio nav is going there. So I suspect these 2 will come on and off at the same time. Right, so yeah, that's it. Right, so the next set is we have the wing. Oh, is that it? No, we don't. Cabin lights. Dashboard and pan. There's quite a lot of lights actually. Right, so wing navigation lights, well, they'll be simple, we'll put them there. So again, these are going to be white lights which need to be painted. So let me see if I've got this correct. One will be red, one will be green. So there's only 2 lights there. So one, they're both going to connect into 0, and it is getting a real jumble now, isn't it? Right, so this is, tell you what, it's going to be like an hour or 2 video, and it's going to be about 4 hours packing everything away. Right. So that's a very long lead actually, which is good because it's got to go all the way full length down the wing. I should have pulled that masking tape off first. Right, so one wing navigation light. So lesson learnt. Let's get the bit of masking tape off for the next one ready. I think what I might do is I might not test the other lights, I might just run it again with some lights put into do all the same lights, but I'll just run, what did we say this was, 0, so I might just rearrange some of these plugs so that saves me getting everything out again. Right, 0. That doesn't want to go on. That does not want to go on. There we go, that's going on. Right, so let's run it with that. So this time then we've got, right, so we've not got the cabin lights in which connect to 11, and we haven't got the low altitude lights on. And we haven't got the dashboard and panel boxes in. So we'll reconnect some of the wires a bit later on. These tell you which ones to connect to. These low altitude ones don't, but you need to just look on here. The low altitude lights go into number 1. So how can they go into number 1? Right, so the tail navigation lights is number 1. So I might have to lose the tail navigation lights, but these won't need testing. Well, the bulbs will. Right, so let's go for it. I'm sorry about the big jumble of wires. Right, so Echo, hobby desk lights off. Right, let's go for it. There's the circuit board. So you won't see the engines. Oh, they're the cabin lights. Oh, there's the tail and the wing lights. And now, oh, you can see the engines now because of the lights. I notice we've got a mix of warm and cool bulbs there. This light, you can't really see it so well, probably because it's not up against the board. Right, so there's 3 engines running and the sound is coming on. Looks really nice actually. And there you go, there's engine number 1, which is the 4th engine. Whoops, speaker's coming off. And oh, they're off, presumably because now they're in, they've done all the checks. That engine's going, but I think it's because it's got the masking tape. I think that masking tape's going to fuck. Yeah, that masking tape's just flown off. So we would have the low level lights on at the moment, which are also these ones. You can turn off now, guys, anytime you like. We've had our demo. Oh, so the cockpit's come on again. Right, so that engine stopped, that one, and that one. And then we switched everything off, and now the cabins. How awesome is that, guys? Right, Echo, hobby desk lights on. Right, so what I'm going to do then is we've still got to try the cabin lights. So these ones, which I can't remember which plug they're in. Right, I'm going to convert one from plug number, oh, hang on, let me check. Right, cabin lights 11. Right, so I'm going to go from one of them I'm going to go from 11 to 10. So I don't know which one is which. So those lights will now be, oh that's okay, I've pulled 2 plugs out. So one is going to be the dashboard and panel boxes, and one is going to represent the still going to represent the cabin light. Oh, and then these tail navigation lights, oh that's 11 as well. That's 11 as well. Rear gunner, bomber, fuselage doors. We've got too much going into one plug. How can we have six of them going into one? Oh well, so that's something for me to look into. So one of these, and I don't know which one, I've unplugged and I've plugged it into the dashboard and panel boxes. I suspect that dashboard will be on for longer. So I'm going to treat you to one more test. You won't see the engines, obviously, for which I apologise. You can't have the light and not have the light. I don't think you'll actually see them very well with the lights on. Let's have a quick look. Lights, you can see them, but they're not very good. Right, so echo hobby desk lights off. Right, so one more full test and then we'll go over to our costings. So that's one of the lights. I think that's going to be the, I don't know, then the other lights. So that one hasn't come on. I'm concerned that that's not on. I think that's going to be the dashboard. Panel, whatever you want to call it. Right, that's gone off. I'm going to let it run because it might come on at the end or something. Right, echo, hobby desk lights on. Right, so I'm a little bit concerned that that's not working. So what I'll do is I'll trace the wires. It's probably something really daft, like it's not plugged in properly. It's not plugged in properly. Oh, I'm an idiot. I've actually plugged the negative into the minus and the minus into the negative. How daft am I? Right, okay. Right, that's in. Right, okay. Echo, hobby desk lights off. Right, one last test, guys. So this is the light that I'm looking for. It's on, and that's very low. That's on very low. That's the dashboard light. Look at that. You can see it's a very low power. That's going to be on the dashboard. That I am extremely happy with. We've got the lights there. I think one of those is going to go out. That's flickering now. I don't know if it's meant to, but it is flickering. I'll double check the connection when it finishes. It's gone out. Actually, I wonder if it's a damaged light. Echo, hobby desk lights on. I'm just a little bit concerned that it's actually a damaged light. But I think I've effectively got spares. It's actually the one that we've left in. It's on number 11. So we've already that's interesting. Right, so I'm going to swap 10 and 11 over, because if I plug 10 into 11 and this flickering one was on 11, I've pulled something out there. Oh, I see what I've done. I've now gone and plugged. Oh, this has all gone mad. I think I've broken it, guys. I think I've plugged a negative into a positive. So how it lit up, I don't know. Right, so I'm not even going to plug these negatives in properly now. Right, okay, let's do one more test, but I'll leave the lights on. So, please work. That one's not on. That one is on. Oh! Oh! I like that. Right. Echo. Hobby desk lights off. So, I don't know which one is the caravan and which one is the interior, but check this out. I think that's the interior light, and that's the panel, and then these will come on. Awesome! I'm happy. Happy. Right. Okay, so Echo, hobby desk lights on. Right, so did I... Yeah, so we have got something plugged into every single port, and then we've got ports 0 and 1 have got 2 lights. So 0 and 1. Oh, yes. So 0 and 1 have got 2 lights. So these are 0 and 1. Right, guys. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So, yeah, what I'd really like to do is say I'm going to close it with this. I might do, actually. So, yeah, let me take a cut. I'm going to finish it here, but I'm going to finish it with a little light show, I think. So, guys, I'm happy with that testing. Everything seems to work fine. I haven't tested actual bulbs, but I don't think I'm going to use all of them. I've obviously got to do some more reading of the manuals, but it looks like you've got 6 bulbs going into one. So yeah, I've got to do a bit of research on that. If I need the bulbs, I might actually splice the bulbs so that they all two lights come off one. The low altitude lights I might split them off or whatever, but I do want the low altitude lights because I've got the 2 lights on underneath, so it'll be, you know, that's for the altitude. You've got 2 little they look like cameras, but they're like two little searchlights, and you'll have the thing, and as they get lower they come together, and if they go too far they go like that, and then they once the lights are both beaming as one light, we know we're exactly 60 feet. Right guys, so over to the costings. So this is the cost comparison for 17 and 18. So both Hachettes have cost $10.99. That's brought the cost up to $184. Now I have had to spend $9.99 on the power supply, although it doesn't seem to be at that price at the moment. I must have bought it just at the right time. Now both issues 17 and 18, I'm going to give them a 1 each, because they're just a set of parts. I can't find the magazine. Yeah, they're just a couple of parts that you screw together. Bog standard stuff. It might get a bit more exciting next week when we do the engine for the Hachette, but for now I'm going to give them a 1. Now I have to make a confession here. I actually filmed issue 19 before I filmed this. 19 is the propellers. It was just I was doing a load of spraying in the spray booth, and what I want to do is I want to do a big batch job, and I knew I needed the grey primer on it, so I thought I'll get them done while I've got the airbrush out. So what I've done is I have guessed the scores. I predicted the scores for the Hong Kong. So I've given it 1 for the power supply. Nothing special about a power supply. You know, it's a part that's come. It's actually, funnily enough, it's cheaper than a Hachette issue. But that's by the by. So we've got the parts. And then for 18, I gave it a 1, thinking we'll plug them in, they'll work, that's fine. But do you know what? That kind of gave me a really warm, excited feeling, and I really wish that I'd given it a 2 now. So, you know, but what's done is done. I can't change the scores now because it will affect the next video. But what I'll try and do is I'll try and be ever so slightly biased in favour of the Hong Kong in a later stage. So, you know, if I get an issue where I go, it's worth almost this, but I'm going to bring it down to whatever, I'll actually just push it up. So that's it then guys. So the scores running now is 25 to 27. Hong Kong remains in front by 2 points, but let's see if that all changes in the next issue. So until then, you take care guys. Bye bye.